Imagine a time so ancient, so utterly beyond our grasp, that the very continents we now inhabit were not scattered fragments, but a single colossal landmass, Pangaea, a slumbering titan bathed in an alien sun. What if, nestled within that boundless epoch, a breath of intelligence, perhaps even a nascent civilization, began to stir, etching its silent, intricate story onto the planet's nascent crust? A story not of humans, nor even of our distant evolutionary ancestors, but something far more primordial, a fleeting spark swallowed whole by the inexorable, crushing march of geological time. Could the colossal unity of Pangaea have been more than just a geological precursor? Could it have been a magnificent, ephemeral stage for an existence that bloomed and faded, leaving behind an almost imperceptible, yet profoundly resonant echo of its impossible presence, defying our neat, linear understanding of Earth's vast, unfolding history? This isn't merely a tale of lost cities buried by sand, but of entire epochs erased by the planet itself, of deep time performing its ultimate act of forgetting. The Earth, in its profound indifference, continuously recycles its surface, grinding mountains into dust, submerging land masses beneath the waves, and rewriting its own geological chapters with an authority we can scarcely comprehend. Yet sometimes the Earth keeps secrets, holding on to whispers of what once was, hidden deep within its ancient heart. If you find yourself drawn to these profound mysteries, to the whispers of forgotten ages, and the tantalizing what-ifs that challenge our known reality, then consider subscribing to join us as we delve deeper into the planet's most enigmatic riddles. Billions of years before the first human gaze ever contemplated the fractured mosaic of our modern continents, before even the dinosaurs reigned supreme, Pangaea existed. Picture this colossal, unified landmass stretching from pole to pole under a sky both alien and strangely familiar. Its interior was a vast, scorching canvas of deserts where ancient winds sculpted dunes into transient mountain ranges, ever shifting, ever changing. Along its coastal fringes, kissed by the nascent Panthalassa Ocean, warm, shallow seas teemed with life, an embryonic soup on the cusp of diversification. The very air, thick with the exhalations of primeval forests and the distant breath of volcanoes, carried a different cadence, a heavier silence, broken only by the rustle of evolving flora and the far-off echoes of reptilian life across a world still coalescing its identity, still finding its form. For untold eons, the rhythm of Pangaea was one of grand, slow metamorphosis, a cosmic ballet performed on an immense stage. Life, tenacious and endlessly experimental, clung to its burgeoning shores, carving out precarious niches in its vast, untamed interior. Primitive amphibians navigated its swampy deltas, their ancient calls echoing through misty forests, while the first true reptiles, silent precursors to the age of giants, began their slow, deliberate conquest of the land. The planet itself breathed, a colossal organism undergoing its own geological respiration, with tectonic plates grinding imperceptibly beneath its surface, shaping mountains and valleys over durations utterly incomprehensible to the fleeting human mind. It was a world of unblemished wildness, a raw, untamed cradle of evolution, utterly devoid of conscious architects or observers, or so it seemed in the vast, unbroken continuum of its deep, silent time. Yet, across this colossal, primordial stage, a subtle disharmony may have begun to resonate, a faint echo disrupting the planet's ancient symphony. Not a sudden cataclysmic event, not a meteor's fiery kiss or a continent's violent rupture, but a slow, almost imperceptible imprint. Imagine, if you will, within the deep geological strata, amidst the fossilized fern fronds and the calcified remains of ancient marine life, faint anomalous patterns beginning to emerge. Patterns not born of natural erosion or sedimentation, but of something else entirely, a deliberate, intricate design. Could these be the first whispers of an impossible presence, a silent anomaly etched into the very bones of the unified landmass, hinting at a brief, impossible epoch where something other than purely natural forces had bloomed and faded, leaving only a cryptic whisper? These are not the haphazard, beautiful fractal patterns of nature, but traces of a geometric precision alien to the chaotic splendor of nascent Earth. Such marks, if they truly existed, would be embedded deep within the rock formations of the supercontinent's core,
patiently awaiting discovery by an intelligence far in the future. What would it mean if these signs of a presence defied our expected evolutionary timeline, if they suggested a silent primordial consciousness that briefly touched the planet before its time? It would be a ghost in the machine of deep history, challenging the very bedrock of human origin stories, forcing a profound reevaluation of Earth's timeline, and inviting us to peer into an abyss of lost knowledge where the known world dissolves into a sea of what-ifs. Humanity, in its ceaseless quest to comprehend its origins, has meticulously woven a grand tapestry of Earth's history, a narrative meticulously stitched together with the threads of geological strata, fossilized remains, and the echoes of ancient climates.
This intricate story, painstakingly assembled by generations of scientists, paints a picture of life's gradual ascent from single-celled organisms to the complex biodiversity we witness today, culminating in the emergence of conscious intelligence. Our understanding is anchored in fundamental principles: the slow dance of plate tectonics, the inexorable march of evolution guided by natural selection, and a chronological framework that places humanity as a relatively recent yet profoundly significant chapter in this vast cosmic saga. We chart this course with a comfortable linearity, believing we have deciphered the primary arcs of planetary development, confident in the foundational truths that underpin our perception of deep time. Within this accepted geological chronology, Pangaea stands as a monumental, undeniable truth, a supercontinent that reigns supreme across the Permian and Triassic periods, a colossal landmass encompassing nearly all of Earth's terrestrial surface. Its formation, a testament to the slow, powerful convergence of continental plates, fundamentally reshaped the planet's climate and biodiversity, creating vast interior deserts and extensive coastal margins. Geologists trace its birth and eventual dramatic fragmentation, a process that birthed the continents we recognize today, setting the stage for the subsequent epochs of life. This unified landmass, a colossal stage for primitive life forms, is firmly placed within an era long before the rise of dinosaurs, let alone any complex technological intelligence. It exists in our minds as a raw, untamed world, a crucible of primordial evolution, devoid of anything resembling sophisticated design or conscious intervention. Our current understanding of life's progression on Earth, a story recounted through the fossil record, posits a clear, albeit complex, trajectory. From the bacterial mats of the Proterozoic eon, through the astonishing burst of diversification during the Cambrian explosion, to the age of fish, then amphibians, reptiles, and finally mammals, leading inevitably to the hominid lineage, each step is carefully documented. The emergence of tool-making, abstract thought, and ultimately civilization is a phenomenon of the geological blink of an eye, confined to the last few 100,000 years. This linear ascent of intelligence, culminating in Homo sapiens, forms the bedrock of our self-perception, establishing our species as the sole architects of complex culture and technology within this planetary history, a unique and singular event in Earth's unfolding drama. Yet, beneath the comforting certainty of this established narrative, a subtle disquiet lingers, a quiet acknowledgement of the vast, almost unfathomable lacunae in our knowledge. The fossil record, while immensely rich, is inherently incomplete, a flickering lantern casting light on mere fragments of a much grander, darker canvas. Geological processes are relentless, a planetary eraser that systematically obliterates the delicate traces of ancient life, particularly over hundreds of millions of years. What could have existed, bloomed, and faded within those immense, silent stretches of deep time, leaving no discernible impression on the rocks we sift through today? The sheer scale of geological epochs dwarfs our capacity for comprehension, rendering much of Earth's primordial past an unwritten, perhaps unwritable chapter. Consider the relentless, destructive power of Earth itself, a tireless sculptor and destroyer. Tectonic plates, in their slow, grinding dance, subdued vast swaths of ancient crust, dragging them into the planet's fiery mantle, where all vestiges of their past are melted and reformed. Erosion, wind, water, and ice ceaselessly abrade surfaces, grinding mountains into dust, filling basins with sediment, and erasing features over eons. Even the most robust structures, if left unattended, would succumb to these forces, transformed into unrecognizable patterns or entirely subsumed by the planet's own geological respiration.
The very processes that shape our world are also its most formidable guardians of forgotten secrets, ensuring that only the most resilient or the most fortunate imprints survive the crushing march of time. This profound reality forces a challenging question. Does the absence of evidence truly equate to the evidence of absence? Or are we perhaps merely looking for the wrong kind of evidence, in the wrong places, or with parameters too narrowly defined by our own brief experience of civilization? Deep time acts as a profound filter, a cosmic sieve through which only the most robust and universal truths can pass, leaving myriad possibilities and fleeting phenomena lost to its immense depths. To assume that our current, human-centric understanding of intelligence and its manifestations is the only possible form, or the first to ever grace this planet, might be a profound oversight, an anthropocentric bias limiting our gaze to a mere sliver of what could have been. Our scientific paradigms are, by necessity, built upon observable phenomena and repeatable experiments, leading to a natural inclination to extract from what we know. We search for fossilized bones, rudimentary tools, or telltale signs of early settlements, artifacts that resonate with our own trajectory. But what if a primordial intelligence, blooming on Pangaea, expressed itself in ways entirely alien to our understanding?
What if its technology wasn't based on metals or combustion, but on bioluminescence, crystalline resonance, or subtle manipulations of geological forces, leaving behind no conventional ruins, but rather intricate, almost invisible patterns embedded within the very rock? Such an existence would defy our current search parameters, slipping through the cracks of our archaeological and geological nets, becoming a phantom whisper in the planet's deep memory. The very idea of life and intelligence is often framed within our carbon-based biological understanding, tethered to the familiar evolutionary pathways that led to us. Yet the universe, in its boundless creativity, might harbor forms of consciousness or even nascent collective awareness that operate on entirely different principles, manifesting in ways we cannot yet conceive. If such a primordial entity were to emerge on Pangaea, its signature might not be a city or a written language as we comprehend them, but perhaps a vast, intricate network of geologically manipulated structures, or even a subtle, resonant frequency embedded within the planet's magnetic field, a silent hum of intelligence woven into the very fabric of the supercontinent. How would we even begin to recognize such an anomaly, so far removed from our expected frames of reference? What kind of lasting imprint could a pre-human Pangaean intelligence leave behind that could possibly survive the geological grinder? We imagine technosignatures as industrial pollution or distinct architectural remnants, but these are transient on deep timescales. Perhaps the echoes would be more subtle, a faint non-natural isotopic signature in a mineral deposit, an unexplained geometric regularity in a vast rock formation, or a localized anomalous energy reading within the Earth's crust that defies natural explanation. These wouldn't be grand monuments, but rather cryptographic clues, embedded almost invisibly within the planet's ancient heart, awaiting an advanced future intelligence capable of discerning such subtle, almost imperceptible deviations from the natural order of things. To entertain such a possibility is not merely to rewrite a historical timeline, it is to fundamentally challenge the very core of our philosophical understanding of existence. It forces us to confront the profound implication that humanity might not be the singular, unique pinnacle of intelligence on Earth, but merely one iteration among potentially many, a fleeting flicker in a much grander, cyclical drama. This revelation would dismantle our anthropocentric exceptionalism, inviting a humbling yet awe-inspiring contemplation of the sheer breadth of life's potential and the myriad forms intelligence might assume across the vast, silent stretches of deep time. It would redefine our cosmic solitude, transforming it into a shared, ancestral mystery. Our current scientific models, while incredibly robust and illuminating, are ultimately just models, frameworks constructed from the available data, perpetually refined but never entirely complete. They are maps, not the territory itself. The vastness of deep time, the relentless forces of planetary geology, and the inherent limitations of our observational tools ensure that many chapters of Earth's story remain unwritten, perhaps even unimagined. To truly embrace the full spectrum of possibilities, we must allow our minds to wander beyond the known, to consider the whispers of the impossible, to acknowledge that the planet beneath our feet holds secrets far older, far stranger, and infinitely more profound than our most imaginative theories currently dare to suggest. The silence of the deep past is not empty, it is simply awaiting a new language to reveal its ancient truths. Our understanding of Earth's immense past,
a tapestry woven from countless geological and paleontological threads, is a testament to human ingenuity. We have meticulously charted the rise and fall of ancient oceans, the slow, grinding dance of continents, and the astonishing, relentless march of evolution, from the simplest cellular structures to the complex biodiversity that graces our world today. Yet this grand narrative, for all its richness and scientific rigor, is inherently incomplete. It is a story told through fragments, a flickering lantern illumining mere slivers of time, leaving vast epochs shrouded in an impenetrable darkness. The sheer scale of deep time, stretching back billions of years, dwarfs our brief human comprehension, rendering the survival of any delicate trace from such primordial eras an almost impossible feat, a testament to the planet's profound capacity for forgetting. Consider the Earth's relentless geological processes, a colossal, indifferent sculptor constantly reshaping its own face. Tectonic plates, in their majestic, agonizingly slow ballet, are not merely architects of mountains and valleys, they are also the planet's ultimate erasers. Vast swaths of oceanic crust are systematically subducted, plunging into the fiery mantle, where rock and all its embedded history are melted, reformed, and utterly obliterated. Continental crust, though more resilient, is not immune. It is uplifted, folded, fractured, and then meticulously abraded by the ceaseless work of wind, water, and ice, grinding mountains into dust, carving canyons, and filling basins with sediments that bury and obscure what came before.
How could any structure, any deliberate imprint, however grand, withstand such a profound and continuous act of planetary recycling over hundreds of millions of years? The fossil record, our most cherished chronicle of ancient life, is a miracle of preservation, yet it is profoundly biased and incomplete. For an organism to become a fossil, a rare confluence of events must occur: rapid burial to protect it from scavengers and decay, specific sediment composition, and subsequent mineralization. Most life forms, the vast majority of all beings that have ever graced this planet, simply disintegrated back into the earth, their existence a fleeting breath of biological energy, leaving no lasting physical trace. The soft-bodied creatures, the intricate ecosystems, the subtle interactions of primordial life, all these remain largely lost to us, leaving only the most robust, the most fortunate, and often the most common remnants to tell a partial, fragmented story, mere whispers across the chasm of time. Even when we search for evidence of more recent, complex civilizations, the challenges are immense. Legendary cities like those rumored to be buried under desert sands, swallowed by encroaching jungles, or submerged beneath rising seas, represent a mere geological blink compared to the eons we are contemplating. The very act of archaeological discovery is often a race against time, as erosion, vegetation, and human activity continue to obscure and destroy what little remains. Now, amplify that challenge by a factor of hundreds of millions of years. Imagine the difficulty of finding an anomaly, not merely covered by sand, but subducted miles into the Earth's mantle, metamorphosed by intense heat and pressure, or scattered across continents by the slow, inexorable drift of landmasses. What hope would there be for a clear, undeniable signal? Yet the scientific mind, ever curious, has dared to venture into similar speculative territories. The Silurian hypothesis, for instance, a thought experiment proposed by scientists, asks what geological or archaeological traces an industrial civilization might leave behind if it existed millions of years ago, long before humans. It meticulously considers the ephemeral nature of most modern artifacts. Plastics degrade, concrete crumbles, even our most robust constructions would become unrecognizable over deep time. This scientific inquiry, though speculative, acknowledges the profound gaps in our knowledge and the possibility that our planet might harbor secrets far older than our current narratives suggest, challenging us to look beyond conventional timelines and search for entirely new categories of evidence. What then could possibly survive such an immense geological gauntlet, offering a whisper of a Pangean intelligence? Our contemporary technosignatures, industrial pollution, radio waves, elaborate architecture, are largely transient on such timescales. Perhaps the enduring echoes would be far more subtle: highly durable, non-biodegradable materials with anomalous atomic structures, unique isotopic signatures embedded within ancient mineral deposits, or deeply embedded geological modifications that defy natural explanation. These wouldn't be grand monuments visible from space, but rather cryptographic clues, embedded almost invisibly within the planet's ancient heart, awaiting an advanced future intelligence capable of discerning such subtle, almost imperceptible deviations from the natural order of things. Indeed, some of the most enduring traces from deep time are microscopic life forms, specific mineral assemblages, and geochemical anomalies. Could a Pangean intelligence have left its mark not in grand structures, but in these subtle, persistent forms?
perhaps through the deliberate large-scale manipulation of elemental compositions, creating unusual concentrations of rare earth elements or isotopes that suggest non-natural processing, locked within the crystalline lattice of ancient rock formations. These are the almost invisible breadcrumbs, the chemical fingerprints that might hint at a grander, lost narrative, defying our conventional search methods and forcing us to reconsider what constitutes a technosignature in the truest sense of geological time. The environment of Pangaea itself would have fundamentally shaped any emerging intelligence. Picture a world with a significantly different atmospheric composition, perhaps richer in carbon dioxide, with vast, scorching interior deserts stretching for thousands of miles and coastal fringes warmed by the nascent Panthalassa Ocean. Life evolving in such conditions might have developed radically different biological forms, societal structures, and technological expressions than our own. Their cities might have been subterranean networks, their communication through resonant geological frequencies, or their tools bioluminescent symbiotic organisms. Such an existence, shaped by a truly alien planet, would leave behind signatures utterly foreign to our anthropocentric expectations, making their detection a profound act of imaginative archaeology. Throughout Earth's history, monumental events have acted as profound planetary resets, effectively wiping the slate clean for new evolutionary experiments. The Great Oxygenation Event, a cataclysmic shift in atmospheric chemistry, transformed the planet and led to the extinction of countless anaerobic life forms.
Later, mass extinction events, whether triggered by volcanic eruptions or asteroid impacts, periodically culled the planet's biodiversity, dismantling established ecosystems and paving the way for new dominant species. Each of these global transformations represents a colossal eraser, obliterating vast amounts of prior history and making the survival of any specific, deliberate imprint from a pre-human intelligence an almost miraculous defiance of planetary forces, a whisper against a cosmic roar. This brings us to a crucial philosophical challenge, our inherent anthropocentrism in defining and searching for intelligence. We instinctively look for structures that resemble our buildings, tools that mirror our implements, and communication methods akin to our languages. But what if a Pangaean intelligence didn't build cities or manipulate fire, but instead communicated through vast, intricate networks of bioluminescent patterns, or by subtly influencing geological resonance, or even existed as a collective, non-individual consciousness woven into the planet's magnetic field? Our current definitions of civilization and technology are deeply rooted in our own brief human experience, potentially blinding us to forms of advanced organization or communication that operate on entirely different, non-carbon-based principles. The concept of out-of-place artifacts, or UPARTs, while often controversial and frequently debunked, nonetheless represents a persistent human fascination with anomalies that challenge established historical timelines. These objects, whether genuine curiosities or misinterpretations of natural phenomena, serve as a cultural reflection of our deep-seated desire to find evidence that shatters our comfortable narratives. They highlight the human tendency to question the boundaries of accepted history, fueling the very what-if scenarios we explore. While their scientific validity is often debated, their existence in popular consciousness underscores the intuitive recognition that the Earth's past might hold secrets far stranger and more profound than our current understanding allows. Ultimately, the question of what constitutes proof over geological timescales becomes paramount. A single anomalous artifact, however intriguing, might be dismissed as a geological oddity or a scientific misinterpretation. But what if a consistent pattern of subtle, non-natural anomalies were discovered across vast, ancient landmasses, a geometric regularity in rock formations, a uniform crystalline structure spanning hundreds of kilometers, or an unexplained, persistent energy signature? The burden of proof grows exponentially with time, demanding not just a single piece of evidence, but a coherent narrative woven from multiple, disparate threads that defy conventional explanation, pushing the boundaries of what we consider scientifically plausible. Revisiting the relentless power of subduction zones, it's difficult to overstate their destructive capacity. These geological maw-like regions, where one tectonic plate dives beneath another, are not merely slow-moving conveyor belts, they are planetary incinerators. Entire ocean floors, along with any embedded sediments, structures, or remnants of ancient life, are dragged into the Earth's fiery mantle, utterly obliterating any surface features or embedded artifacts. This grand, slow destruction, a planetary digestive system that leaves no trace of its ancient meals, ensures that the vast majority of Earth's surface from hundreds of millions of years ago has been utterly consumed and recycled. How could anything, however robust, survive such an inexorable, planet-altering process? Even if some fragment of a Pangaean intelligence's work somehow escaped the subduction zones, it would then face the crucible of metamorphism.
Intense heat and immense pressure, forces that reshape the very fabric of rock deep within the Earth's crust, would likely transform any original structure into an unrecognizable mass of minerals. A perfectly symmetrical crystalline construct could become a distorted, amorphous vein of quartz, its intricate internal geometry utterly obliterated, its original purpose lost to the crushing forces of the deep Earth. The very processes that create new minerals and rock types are also the ultimate destroyers of form, ensuring that only the most resilient or the most fortunate imprints survive. Intriguingly, the concept of a deep biosphere, life existing far beneath the Earth's surface, independent of sunlight and sustained by chemosynthesis, offers a speculative avenue for the survival of intelligence. Could a Pangean civilization, facing a planetary cataclysm or simply adapting to a changing world, have retreated into these subterranean realms, leaving only subtle, almost unreadable surface imprints? This suggests that life or intelligence might find refuge in the most unexpected places, adapting to extreme conditions and continuing its existence beyond our conventional, surface-centric view. Such a hidden existence would explain the scarcity of surface evidence, transforming the silent planet into a potential vault of ancient secrets. Perhaps the Earth itself retains a form of memory, not in physical artifacts, but in subtle energetic or geological echoes that persist across eons.
Could a Pangean intelligence have left a resonant frequency embedded within the planet's magnetic field, or an unusual stress pattern within the crust that, while not directly observable, hints at a deeper, more complex history than we currently perceive? The planet, a living entity in its own right, might retain a faint imprint of past events, a subtle hum that, to a sufficiently advanced future technology, could reveal the presence of a lost era, a silent testament to a grandeur we can barely imagine. A profound challenge in this inquiry lies in distinguishing between incredibly complex natural formations and artificial constructs when dealing with deep time. Nature, in its boundless creativity, produces stunning patterns, from intricate crystals to vast, geometrically precise rock formations shaped by erosion and sedimentation. Differentiating a true anomaly that defies purely geological or biological explanations requires an unparalleled understanding of natural processes, a finely tuned eye for deviations that hint at deliberate design. This is the core dilemma of identifying truly out-of-place evidence. How do we definitively say, after hundreds of millions of years, that a pattern is not natural, but rather the whisper of an ancient, forgotten mind? The concept of the Great Filter, often discussed in astrobiology, offers another lens through which to view a potential Pangean intelligence. This idea posits that there are significant barriers or filters to the emergence of advanced, long-lasting civilizations. Could a Pangean intelligence have encountered such a planetary filter, a natural cataclysm, an environmental collapse, or even a self-imposed limit that ultimately led to its disappearance? If so, the subtle traces we seek might be the only remnants of an intelligence that bloomed, then withered, unable to overcome a fundamental hurdle on its path to enduring existence, leaving only a cryptic signature of its brief, magnificent presence. Drawing analogies from astronomy, our quest for ancient Pangean intelligence mirrors the search for biosignatures or technosignatures on distant exoplanets. We are developing sophisticated tools to detect incredibly subtle signs of life and technology across vast cosmic distances. Perhaps we need similar deep-time archaeology tools for Earth itself, advanced seismic imaging that can penetrate miles into the crust, neutrino tomography to map subterranean structures, or quantum-level analysis of ancient minerals for anomalous isotopic ratios. The challenge of identifying life on distant worlds, where data is scarce and indirect, offers valuable lessons for deciphering the incredibly faint, almost erased signals of life and intelligence on our own ancient planet. Reflecting on our own civilization, the Anthropocene, we are compelled to consider what lasting marks we are making that might survive hundreds of millions of years. Our plastics, concrete, and even our nuclear waste will eventually degrade, subduct, or be transformed by geological processes. This grounds our speculation in a tangible example, reminding us of the transient nature of even our most robust creations. Our own epoch, for all its technological prowess, will ultimately leave its unique, albeit ephemeral, signature in the geological record,
a testament to the fact that even the grandest civilizations are but fleeting moments in the immense silent march of planetary time. Looking towards the distant future, one might imagine advanced technologies capable of detecting such subtle anomalies that are currently beyond our grasp. Perhaps future generations will develop hypersensitive seismic imaging, able to create three-dimensional maps of structures miles beneath the surface, or neutrino tomography that can peer through the Earth's mantle, revealing hidden crystalline formations. What instruments, currently relegated to the realm of science fiction, might one day unlock the secrets hidden deep within the Earth's crust, revealing the whispers of forgotten ages? The future of archaeology may lie not in the shovel, but in the sophisticated scanner capable of listening to the silent echoes of the planet itself. The silence of deep time, then, is not an empty canvas, but a palimpsest, overwritten countless times by the relentless hand of planetary change. It is a profound testament to the Earth's capacity for both creation and erasure, a grand narrative where entire epochs can bloom and fade, leaving only the faintest, most ambiguous echoes. What profound truths still lie buried within these layers, awaiting the moment when humanity is finally ready to listen, to decipher the planet's ancient whispers, and to humbly accept that the story of existence is far vaster, far more cyclical, and infinitely more mysterious than our current imaginations dare to suggest. Our search for a lost Pangean intelligence is a journey into the deepest, most obscured chapters of Earth's autobiography, a planetary palimpsest where countless narratives have been written, erased, and rewritten over eons. We seek not merely a faded inscription, but a whisper, a resonant frequency, a subtle disjunction in the natural order that defies the patient, indifferent hand of geological time. This quest demands a radical shift in perspective, moving beyond conventional archaeological digs and into the realm of deep-time anomalies, where the very definition of artifact must expand to encompass the
most resilient, the most cryptic, and perhaps even the most accidental imprints left by a forgotten mind. It's about listening to the planet's most ancient, almost imperceptible murmurs, discerning a pattern that speaks of intent amidst the chaotic symphony of creation and destruction. Humanity, in its persistent fascination with the unknown, has always been drawn to out-of-place artifacts, or ooparts, objects that, for a time, seem to defy their conventional historical context. Though many are later explained by natural processes or misinterpretations, their enduring presence in popular imagination speaks to a deep-seated human desire to challenge established timelines. They are cultural signposts, reminding us that our understanding of the past is always provisional, always subject to revision. This yearning to find something that doesn't fit, something that whispers of an impossible past, fuels our imagination and pushes the boundaries of scientific inquiry, urging us to consider narratives far grander and more unconventional than those currently enshrined in our textbooks. The core challenge in this hypothetical quest lies in distinguishing between the breathtaking complexity of natural formations and the subtle yet deliberate hand of an ancient intelligence. Nature, in its boundless artistry, sculpts mountains, carves canyons, and arranges crystals into patterns of astonishing geometric precision. A basalt column can appear almost perfectly hewn, a rock face can resemble an ancient fresco, and mineral deposits can form intricate, symmetrical veins. How then do we discern a truly anomalous pattern, a mark of conscious design, from the chaotic splendor of a nascent Earth, especially after hundreds of millions of years of geological transformation? It is like finding a single, perfectly crafted bead in a vast primordial ocean of naturally occurring pearls. Consider the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, a stunning natural wonder where volcanic activity formed thousands of interlocking basalt columns, creating an almost impossibly geometric landscape. Or the Rich Hat structure in Mauritania, a vast circular geological formation often called the Eye of the Sahara, whose concentric rings could easily be mistaken for an ancient colossal city from above. These marvels demonstrate nature's capacity for creating structures that appear, to the untrained eye, almost artificial. They serve as a crucial reminder of the immense burden of proof required when claiming to have found something truly out of place, particularly when contemplating the raw, untamed forces that shaped Pangaea.
Yet, a Pangean anomaly, if it truly existed, would possess a signature far more profound than mere resemblance to human geometry. It would exhibit a precision, a scale, and perhaps even a material composition that utterly defies any known geological or biological process of that epoch. Imagine a vast subterranean network of perfectly interlocking crystalline structures, not formed by natural mineral growth, but exhibiting atomic alignments that speak of intentional manipulation, or an isotopic ratio in ancient rock that cannot be explained by any known planetary process. These would be not just curious shapes, but deep-seated inconsistencies, a deliberate discord woven into the very fabric of the planet, a silent, persistent hum against the background noise of natural evolution. Deep time acts as a relentless, indifferent eraser, a cosmic wave that washes away the most intricate sandcastles we might build on its shores. Our own civilizations, for all their technological might, are but fleeting moments in this grand geological narrative. Think of a sandcastle built with painstaking detail, only for the tide to slowly, inexorably reclaim each grain. Now amplify that process by hundreds of millions of years across an entire supercontinent. The sheer scale of this erasure compels us to consider that any lasting imprint must be either incredibly robust, woven into the very atomic structure of the planet, or so subtle as to be almost indistinguishable from nature itself, a ghost in the machine. Our conventional search for technosignatures often focuses on grand structures or overt signs of industrial activity, but in the context of Pangaea, we must expand our definition. Perhaps the enduring echoes would be far more subtle, not cities but patterns of ancient, deliberately engineered mineral veins, not tools but anomalous concentrations of rare earth elements that defy natural geological distribution, not writing but a non-natural isotopic signature embedded within the crystalline lattice of ancient rock formations, waiting to be deciphered. These are the almost invisible breadcrumbs, the chemical fingerprints, that might hint at a grander lost narrative, defying our anthropocentric expectations and demanding new methods of detection. Imagine finding a single perfectly cut diamond, not in a modern jeweler's display, but embedded deep within a primordial rock formation, predating any known diamond-cutting technology by hundreds of millions of years. Its facets, its clarity, its very structure would scream of intentional design, of a mind that understood geometry and material science long before such concepts were thought to exist. This would not be a natural crystal, but a deliberate creation, a silent testament to an impossible intelligence.
Such an object, however small, would be a profound anomaly, a direct challenge to our linear understanding of technological progression and the emergence of conscious manipulation of the physical world. A Pangean intelligence, if it existed, might have interacted with its environment in ways entirely alien to our current technological paradigms. Perhaps their technology wasn't based on metals or combustion, but on biomanipulation, creating vast, symbiotic fungal networks that could sculpt rock or harness geothermal energy. Or perhaps it involved subtle geoengineering, influencing tectonic stresses or mineral deposition on a scale so vast and slow that it would appear as a natural geological process. Their cities might have been subterranean, their communication through resonant geological frequencies, leaving behind no conventional ruins, but rather intricate, almost invisible patterns embedded within the planet's very structure, patiently awaiting discovery. The imprint of such an intelligence would be akin to a faint watermark on an ancient scroll, invisible to the casual glance, but revealing itself under specific advanced lighting. It wouldn't be a glaring monument, but a subtle deviation, a whisper in the static of deep time. Perhaps a slight shift in the magnetic alignment of ancient iron-rich rocks, or an inexplicable localized gravity anomaly that persists over vast geological periods, indicating an unseen mass or structure beneath. These are the ghost signals, the almost imperceptible signatures that would challenge our understanding, hinting at a deliberate design hidden beneath layers of geological transformation, requiring a new kind of deep-time archaeology to uncover. The Silurian hypothesis, a fascinating thought experiment proposed by scientists, directly confronts this challenge. What geological or archaeological traces would an industrial civilization leave behind if it existed millions of years ago, long before humans? This hypothesis meticulously considers the ephemeral nature of most modern artifacts. Plastics degrade, concrete crumbles, even our most robust constructions become unrecognizable over deep time.
It suggests that if such a civilization vanished, its primary enduring legacy might be subtle geochemical anomalies, like unusual carbon isotope ratios in sedimentary layers, or specific mineral deposits that defy natural formation. It's a scientific exercise in humility, acknowledging the profound gaps in our knowledge and the possibility that our planet might harbor secrets far older than our current narratives suggest. This perspective forces us to look beyond grand ruins and consider what truly endures. The most robust traces from deep time are often microscopic life forms, specific mineral assemblages, and geochemical anomalies. Could a Pangean intelligence have left its mark not in grand structures, but in these subtle, persistent forms? Perhaps through the deliberate, large-scale manipulation of elemental compositions, creating unusual concentrations of rare earth elements, or isotopes that suggest non-natural processing, locked within the crystalline lattice of ancient rock formations. These are the almost invisible breadcrumbs, the chemical fingerprints, that might hint at a grander, lost narrative, defying our conventional search methods and forcing us to reconsider what constitutes a technosignature in the truest sense of geological time. Imagine the Earth's crust as a vast, multi-layered hard drive, perpetually recording, overwriting, and encrypting its data. Each geological epoch writes a new chapter, burying the previous one under layers of sediment, lava, and tectonic movement. While much is erased, sometimes faint traces of older data remain, a ghost image, a corrupted file, a pattern that doesn't quite fit the current narrative. A Pangean anomaly would be one such ghost image, a residual pattern of information that, to a sufficiently advanced future intelligence, could be decrypted. It's a testament to the planet's immense capacity for both forgetting and, paradoxically, for retaining the faintest echoes of its most profound hidden histories. Perhaps the Earth itself retains a form of memory, not in conscious thought, but in subtle, energetic, or geological echoes that persist across eons. Could a Pangean intelligence have left a resonant frequency embedded within the planet's magnetic field, or an unusual stress pattern within the crust that, while not directly observable with current tools, hints at a deeper, more complex history than we currently perceive? The planet, a living entity in its own right, might retain a faint imprint of past events, a subtle hum that, to a sufficiently advanced future technology, could reveal the presence of a lost era, a silent testament to a grandeur we can barely imagine, woven into the very fabric of its existence. Mysteries like this are just fragments of a much larger story. If you enjoy following these hidden clues and imagining what they mean, subscribe to the channel to not miss the next explorations. We delve into the deepest questions, the most enigmatic whispers of our planet's past, and the tantalizing what-ifs that challenge our known reality, inviting you to join us on this journey of discovery and profound contemplation. Each unanswered question is part of a bigger puzzle, waiting for curious minds to piece together the forgotten chapters of Earth's unfolding drama.
How then might we detect these subtle traces? Perhaps future generations will develop hypersensitive seismic imaging, able to create three-dimensional maps of structures miles beneath the surface, far beyond our current capabilities. Or neutrino tomography that can peer through the Earth's mantle, revealing hidden crystalline formations or anomalous densities. What instruments, currently relegated to the realm of science fiction, might one day unlock the secrets hidden deep within the Earth's crust, revealing the whispers of forgotten ages? The future of archaeology may lie not in the shovel, but in the sophisticated scanner, capable of listening to the silent echoes of the planet itself, discerning order amidst the chaos. The Earth can be seen as a sleeping giant, whose dreams, or perhaps forgotten memories, manifest as subtle anomalies in its geological record. These are the faint, non-random patterns, the unexpected chemical signatures, the inexplicable energetic pulses that occasionally ripple through its ancient crust. To interpret these dreams is to embark on a profound journey of decipherment, to understand a language spoken not in words, but in the silent, enduring grammar of geology and physics. It requires an open mind, a willingness to challenge established paradigms, and the courage to imagine that the planet beneath our feet holds secrets far older, far stranger, and infinitely more profound than our most imaginative theories currently dare to suggest. The challenge of proof over geological timescales is immense. A single anomalous artifact, however intriguing, might be dismissed as a geological oddity or a scientific misinterpretation. But what if a consistent pattern of subtle, non-natural anomalies were discovered across vast, ancient landmasses? A geometric regularity in rock formations spanning hundreds of kilometers, a uniform crystalline structure defying natural growth, or an unexplained, persistent energy signature emanating from deep within the craton. The burden of proof grows exponentially with time,
demanding not just a single piece of evidence, but a coherent narrative woven from multiple, disparate threads that defy conventional explanation, pushing the boundaries of what we consider scientifically plausible. The philosophical implication of finding such a subtle yet undeniable whisper from Pangaea would be profound. It would dismantle our anthropocentric exceptionalism, forcing us to confront the humbling possibility that humanity might not be the singular, unique pinnacle of intelligence on Earth, but merely one iteration among potentially many, a fleeting flicker in a much grander, cyclical drama. This revelation would redefine our cosmic solitude, transforming it into a shared ancestral mystery, inviting a deeper, more contemplative understanding of our place in the vast, unfolding narrative of planetary consciousness, a story far older and more complex than we have ever dared to imagine. Our human timeline, a mere blink in the cosmic eye, is but a single note in an immense ancient symphony. What if the Pangaean intelligence represents a forgotten movement, a powerful, resonant chord that faded into silence before the human ear ever heard its melody? We, with our brief, linear perception of time, tend to assume a continuous upward progression of intelligence. But the universe, in its boundless creativity, might orchestrate cycles of emergence and disappearance, of blossoming and wilting, leaving only the faintest echoes to hint at the grander, more complex composition that has played out across deep time. We often project our own forms of intelligence onto the past, searching for structures that resemble our buildings, tools that mirror our implements, and communication methods akin to our languages. But what if a Pangaean intelligence was entirely non-anthropomorphic, perhaps a collective consciousness woven into the planet's magnetic field, or a fungal network communicating through bioluminescent patterns across vast distances? Our current definitions of civilization and technology are deeply rooted in our own brief human experience, potentially blinding us to forms of advanced organization or communication that operate on entirely different, non-carbon-based principles, leaving behind signatures utterly foreign to our expectations. The silence of deep time, therefore, is not an empty canvas, but a rich, complex tapestry woven with threads of possibility and profound mystery. It is a testament to the Earth's fidacity for both creation and erasure, a grand narrative where entire epochs can bloom and fade, leaving only the faintest, most ambiguous echoes. What profound truths still lie buried within these layers, awaiting the moment when humanity is finally ready to listen, to decipher the planet's ancient whispers, and to humbly accept that the story of existence is far vaster, far more cyclical, and infinitely more mysterious than our current imaginations dare to suggest. The quest for Pangaean anomalies is a journey into the heart of the silence, seeking resonance where we once perceived only void. The crystalline structure, pulsating faintly beneath the Amazon, offers a silent, undeniable challenge to everything we thought we knew. Its perfectly symmetrical geometry, its atomic composition defying known terrestrial elements, screams of an impossible intelligence, a deliberate act of creation far predating humanity.
This isn't merely an anomaly, it's a direct message from an epoch thought utterly primordial, unburdened by consciousness, a ghost in the machine of deep history. How do we begin to contextualize such a profound disruption, a cosmic whisper from Pangaea itself, echoing across hundreds of millions of years? What kind of mind, what kind of existence could have sculpted such a testament to its presence, only to vanish without a trace, leaving this solitary, luminous heart beating beneath the planet's scarred memory? The implications ripple outwards, shaking the very bedrock of our understanding, inviting us to imagine narratives far grander than our most cherished myths. One compelling hypothesis suggests an indigenous Pangaean civilization, a species that blossomed and faded in that immense, unified world. Imagine a form of life, perhaps not carbon-based as we know it, or one that followed an entirely divergent evolutionary path, developing intelligence and complex society millions of years before the first hominids. Their technology might have been bioluminescent, manipulating geological energies, or perhaps crystalline, resonating with the very fabric of the supercontinent. They could have been masters of geoengineering, subtly influencing tectonic plates or mineral formations, leaving behind an artifact like this, a beacon of their existence, before a planetary cataclysm or an inexplicable decline led to their eventual complete disappearance, their memory erased by the relentless march of geological time. What would their world have looked like? Picture this indigenous intelligence adapting to the unique, harsh conditions of Pangaea. Perhaps they thrived in the vast, scorching interior deserts, developing subterranean cities sustained by geothermal vents, or harnessed the immense energy of the supercontinent's volcanic activity. Their bodies might have been resilient, their minds attuned to the planet's deep rhythms, their societal structures communal and deeply intertwined with their environment.
Their writing might have been patterns of crystal growth, their communication through resonant frequencies woven into the Earth's crust. This artifact, then, could be a power source, a data archive, or even a memorial, a final, defiant act against the impending erasure, a silent prayer etched into the planet's core, awaiting a future listener. Why did they vanish? The most straightforward answer lies in the immense destructive power of nature itself. Pangaea was not a static Eden, it was a world of colossal geological shifts. A supervolcanic eruption on an unprecedented scale, blanketing the continent in ash and altering the climate for millennia. A devastating asteroid impact, not unlike the one that ended the age of dinosaurs, but occurring at a time when this civilization was at its peak. Or perhaps a series of extreme environmental changes, a runaway greenhouse effect, or a sudden ice age to which even their advanced adaptations could not cope. The Earth, in its profound indifference, has always been the ultimate arbiter of life, capable of wiping the slate clean with terrifying efficiency, leaving only the faintest whispers behind. But what if their disappearance was not a natural cataclysm, but a self-imposed one? Could an ancient Pangaean civilization, like many speculative narratives of our own future, have succumbed to internal strife, resource depletion, or a technological misstep that led to their own demise? Perhaps they reached a peak of scientific understanding, unlocking forces they couldn't control, inadvertently triggering a planetary feedback loop that rendered their world uninhabitable. Or more subtly, did they simply exhaust their resources, falling into a slow, irreversible decline, their once great cities and intricate networks fading into disuse, eventually succumbing to the relentless geological erasure, leaving only this enigmatic artifact as a final, poignant testament to their ambition and eventual failure? Another captivating hypothesis ventures beyond the bounds of Earth, suggesting that the Pangaean anomaly is not indigenous but extraterrestrial in origin. What if during that unimaginably distant epoch, an advanced alien civilization traversed the cosmos, discovering a nascent Earth, a vibrant, unified supercontinent teeming with primordial life? They might have established a temporary outpost, a research station, or even planted a seed of intelligence, an experiment in planetary cultivation. This artifact, then, could be a dropped tool, a discarded power source, a data probe, or a cosmic marker left by these ancient visitors, a silent testament to their fleeting presence before they departed, leaving the planet to its own devices, only to be rediscovered by a future, indigenous intelligence. If this artifact is indeed alien, what was its purpose? Was it a mere scientific observation post, collecting data on Earth's early evolution, an undetached eye watching life unfold? Or was there a deeper intention? A subtle genetic manipulation of early life forms, an attempt to guide planetary development, or even a hidden seed of consciousness implanted into the very fabric of the planet. The luminous crystal could be a universal translator, a repository of cosmic knowledge, or a beacon designed to activate only when a certain level of indigenous intelligence emerged.
Such a scenario redefines our place in the universe, transforming Earth from an isolated cradle of life into a potential waypoint, a cosmic laboratory, or even a forgotten nursery in a much grander intergalactic narrative. Perhaps the most unsettling hypothesis suggests that humanity is not the first, nor will it be the last intelligent civilization on Earth. What if the planet itself undergoes cycles of awakening and forgetting, of intelligence blooming, reaching a zenith, and then fading away, only to re-emerge eons later in a different form? This would transform Earth's history from a linear progression into a recurring spiral, a cosmic rehearsal where civilizations rise and fall, leaving only the faintest, almost imperceptible echoes for the next iteration. This Pangaean artifact, then, is not an isolated anomaly, but a remnant of a previous act, a former performance, a silent reminder that our current epoch is but one chapter in a much grander, more cyclical planetary drama. This cyclical hypothesis intertwines with the concept of the Great Filter, often discussed in astrobiology. Could Pangaean intelligence have encountered such a planetary filter, a natural cataclysm, an environmental collapse, or even a self-imposed limit that ultimately led to its disappearance? And if so, does humanity face a similar, perhaps inevitable challenge? The luminous artifact might be a warning, a legacy designed to alert future civilizations to the perils of their own existence, a silent message across deep time urging caution. Or it could simply be a testament to the filter itself, an enduring piece of a grand experiment that ultimately failed, leaving only this cryptic signature of its brief, magnificent presence and its eventual, profound silence. What if the crystalline structure is not merely a physical object, but a vast, condensed repository of information? Imagine a form of data storage so advanced that it could withstand the geological grinder,
encoding the history, knowledge, and perhaps even the consciousness of a Pangean civilization. This artifact could be a cosmic time capsule, designed to be discovered only when a future intelligence reached a certain technological threshold. Its faint luminescence might be a quiescent power source, waiting for external activation, containing blueprints for a forgotten technology, records of ancient stars, or even a sentient AI, patiently waiting to awaken and share the story of its creators across the chasm of deep time, a silent library buried within the Earth. Consider a hypothesis that the Pangean intelligence, or an external one, was engaged in a monumental act of planetary sculpting, a form of ancient terraforming. Perhaps they were subtly influencing the Earth's geology, climate, or even its nascent biosphere, guiding its evolution towards a specific outcome. This crystalline structure could be a component of a vast planet-wide network, a deep Earth energy conduit, or a geological stabilizer designed to regulate tectonic forces. Its purpose might have been to prevent the supercontinent's fragmentation, or paradoxically, to orchestrate its eventual breakup, setting the stage for the diverse continents and ecosystems we know today. Such a deliberate intervention would rewrite the very story of Earth's formation, transforming it into a conscious canvas. Moving beyond physical constructs, what if the anomaly is a manifestation of an energetic or quantum phenomenon? Perhaps the Pangean intelligence, or its remnants, exists not in a physical form we recognize, but as a pattern of energy, a resonant frequency, or even a localized quantum entanglement woven into the planet's very fabric. The crystalline structure could be a focal point, an amplifier, or a transducer for this non-physical intelligence, allowing it to interact with the material world. Its faint luminescence might be the visible manifestation of a deep time consciousness, a silent hum of thought resonating through the Earth's core, patiently waiting for a future intelligence capable of tuning into its ancient frequency, bridging the vast chasm of eons. What if the artifact is not a deliberate message or planned legacy, but an accidental one? Perhaps it was a byproduct of their existence, a discarded piece of technology, or a naturally occurring geological formation subtly altered by their presence, gaining properties that defy natural explanation. Imagine a vast mining operation, centuries old, that inadvertently created unique mineral deposits with anomalous isotopic signatures, or a complex energy grid that left behind a localized, persistent gravity anomaly. This would suggest an intelligence so deeply integrated with the planet that its mere activity left an indelible, if unintentional mark, a ghost signature of their passage, waiting for a future generation to stumble upon its profound yet unintended secrets. Another intriguing possibility is that the Pangean intelligence was not a singular species, but a planetary superorganism, a vast interconnected network of life forms, perhaps akin to a fungal mycelium network or a global bacterial mat, that achieved a collective distributed consciousness. This crystalline structure could be a central node, a brain cell, or a communication hub for this immense living entity. Its language would be biochemical, its actions geological, its thoughts the slow, deliberate processes of planetary change.
Such an intelligence would be inherently resilient to geological upheaval, capable of existing across vast timescales, its death perhaps coinciding with the fragmentation of Pangaea, leaving behind this central processing unit as a silent, enduring testament to its former planetary-scale mind. Expanding on the time capsule idea, imagine this artifact as a seed intelligence designed to lay dormant for eons, only to activate when certain planetary conditions or a specific level of indigenous life emerged. It wouldn't just contain information, it might possess a rudimentary form of AI, capable of learning, adapting, and even initiating contact. Its purpose could be to guide a nascent civilization, to share ancient wisdom, or even to prevent a recurring planetary catastrophe witnessed by its creators. This scenario paints a picture of a benevolent, far-sighted intelligence, reaching out across the immense chasm of deep time, offering a helping hand to a future, unsuspecting species, a silent mentor waiting to awaken. Could this artifact be a remnant of a pre-human, yet still terrestrial, evolutionary branch, a lineage that developed intelligence, tool-making, and complex society millions of years before hominids, perhaps diverging from a reptilian or even amphibian ancestor? This pre-human ancestor would have flourished on Pangaea, built its own unique civilization, and then, for reasons unknown, completely disappeared, leaving no direct fossilized descendants that we recognize. This hypothesis is particularly unsettling, as it suggests that the path to intelligence is not a singular linear journey, but a branching, often dead-ended evolutionary experiment, with humanity merely being the latest success story, built upon the forgotten foundations of previous attempts. Pushing the boundaries further, what if the intelligence was not biological at all, but geological? Could the very planet, in its nascent unified state, have developed a form of rudimentary consciousness, a collective awareness arising from the immense geological forces, the grinding of plates, the flow of magma, the slow dance of minerals?
The crystalline structure then wouldn't be an artifact in the traditional sense, but a physical manifestation, a focal point, or even a sensory organ of this planetary consciousness. Its luminescence might be the equivalent of a thought, a silent hum of awareness emanating from the Earth's core, a profound, almost mystical concept that blurs the lines between living entity and geological process, transforming Pangaea into a sentient being. Venturing into theoretical physics, the crystalline structure, pulsating faintly beneath the Amazon, offers a silent, undeniable challenge to everything we thought we knew. Its perfectly symmetrical geometry, its atomic composition defying known terrestrial elements, screams of an impossible intelligence, a deliberate act of creation far predating humanity. This isn't merely an anomaly, it's a direct message from an epic thought utterly primordial, unburdened by consciousness, a ghost in the machine of deep history. How do we begin to contextualize such a profound disruption, a cosmic whisper from Pangaea itself, echoing across hundreds of millions of years? What kind of mind, what kind of existence could have sculpted such a testament to its presence, only to vanish without a trace, leaving this solitary, luminous heart beating beneath the planet's scarred memory? The implications ripple outwards, shaking the very bedrock of our understanding, inviting us to imagine narratives far grander than our most cherished myths. The discovery shatters humanity's comfortable narrative of linear progression and singular emergence, forcing a radical reevaluation of our place in the cosmic tapestry. For so long, we have viewed ourselves as the unique pinnacle of Earth's intelligence, the sole architects of complex civilization. But if Pangaea cradled a predecessor, a consciousness that bloomed and faded long before our ancestors even stirred, then our firsts, the invention of the wheel, the dawn of agriculture, the birth of language, are merely our firsts, relative milestones in a much grander, more cyclical planetary drama. This humbling realization dismantles our anthropocentric exceptionalism, transforming our solitary journey into a shared ancestral mystery, subtly redefining the very essence of human identity and purpose within the vast, unfolding story of life. If intelligence emerged on Pangaea, it profoundly challenges our cherished linear view of evolution, suggesting that the path to complex consciousness is not a singular upward trajectory culminating in Homo sapiens. Instead, the planet might be a stage for recurring experiments in intelligence, a grand rehearsal where different lineages, perhaps even non-biological forms, rise and fall across vast eons. This opens the door to questions about convergent evolution on a scale previously unimagined. Is intelligence an inevitable outcome of planetary development, manifesting in different forms and at different times? The Pangaean artifact suggests that consciousness itself might be a more common, yet also more ephemeral phenomenon in Earth's deep history than our current models dare to predict, a cyclical blossoming and wilting across cosmic time. The implications for our future are equally profound, tinged with a newfound humility and perhaps a touch of melancholy wisdom.
If a civilization capable of crafting such an intricate, enduring artifact could vanish without a trace, leaving only this cryptic whisper, what does that say about our own prospects? Are we too subject to some cosmic great filter that has extinguished previous iterations of intelligence on this planet? This discovery introduces a sobering consideration into our aspirations for endless technological progress and planetary dominance. It forces us to confront the fragility of even the most advanced societies against the relentless march of geological time and the indifferent forces of the universe, urging a deeper reflection on sustainability and resilience. This revelation compels us to reevaluate the very rhythms of our planet, transforming our understanding of Earth's history from a simple chronological progression into a series of grand recurring cycles, geological, biological, and perhaps even civilizational. The Earth itself becomes a more dynamic, complex entity, not merely a passive stage, but an active participant in the story of life and consciousness, capable of nurturing advanced intelligence only to systematically erase its traces over vast eons. It suggests that the planet holds a deeper, more intricate memory, a palimpsest of forgotten epochs, where the rise and fall of civilizations are merely chapters in a much larger, recurring narrative, whispered through the grinding of tectonic plates and the silent luminescence of ancient crystals. The very definition of progress and civilization itself is stretched and redefined by the Pangaean anomaly. If an intelligence could exist and flourish without leaving conventional ruins or industrial pollution, what does that mean for our anthropocentric benchmarks? It invites us to imagine forms of advanced societies that might be entirely alien to our carbon-based technological model,
perhaps based on bioluminescence, geological resonance, or crystalline information. This expanded understanding challenges us to look beyond our own brief experience of civilization, urging us to consider that sophistication can manifest in myriad ways, leaving behind signatures so subtle, so integrated with the planet, that they defy our traditional search parameters, becoming ghosts in the machine of deep time. The Pangaean artifact fundamentally broadens our scientific search for technosignatures, both on Earth and potentially across the cosmos. We are no longer merely looking for fossilized bones, rudimentary tools, or overt signs of industrial activity. Instead, the quest expands to encompass incredibly subtle geochemical anomalies, intricate crystalline patterns embedded deep within the crust, or persistent, non-natural energy readings that defy conventional geological explanation. This paradigm shift encourages the development of new deep-time archaeology tools, perhaps advanced seismic imaging, neutrino tomography, or quantum-level analysis of ancient minerals, capable of discerning the faint, almost erased signals of intelligence that might be woven into the very fabric of our ancient planet, waiting to be deciphered. If the crystalline structure is, as some hypothesize, a vast condensed repository of information, then the potential implications are staggering. It suggests the possibility of unlocking ancient knowledge, a lost science, a different understanding of the universe, or even an entirely alien philosophy of existence that thrived eons ago. Imagine accessing blueprints for forgotten technologies, records of Pangaean astrophysics, or even a different perspective on the fundamental laws of nature. This could profoundly impact our scientific and spiritual development, bridging an immense chasm of eons, offering wisdom from a time so distant it feels mythological, yet now tangibly within our grasp, promising a revolution in human understanding. The discovery irreversibly transforms our sense of cosmic solitude. If Earth has not merely hosted, but perhaps cyclically birthed and erased multiple iterations of intelligence, then the universe seems less lonely, even if those intelligences are long gone. It hints at a universal principle of emergent consciousness, placing Earth not as an isolated anomaly, but as a potential participant in a grander, potentially populated cosmic tapestry, even if the inhabitants are fleeting, like fireflies in the night. This shift in perspective expands our cosmic horizon, making the universe feel both more familiar and infinitely more mysterious, as if our own planet holds echoes of a universal story that plays out across countless worlds. This profound discovery introduces an entirely new ethical dimension to our interaction with the planet. If Earth is not merely a resource to be exploited, but a cradle that has nurtured and then forgotten previous intelligences, how does that change our responsibilities? It underscores our role as temporary custodians, urging a deeper respect not just for our own species, but for the deep history of life and consciousness that preceded us and might follow us. It calls for a reevaluation of our impact on the planet, reminding us that we are part of a much larger, more enduring story, and that our actions today could determine whether we too leave behind a whisper or a definite silence. The artifact suggests a form of planetary memory, where the Earth itself retains echoes of past events, even if physical evidence is systematically erased.
This blurs the line between geology and consciousness, inviting us to perceive the planet as a living entity with a deep, complex, and perhaps even sentient past. The Earth, in this view, is a vast, silent witness, its crust a palimpsest where countless narratives have been written and overwritten. To listen to its ancient hum, to discern the faint luminescence of the Pangaean crystal, is to tap into this profound planetary memory, revealing a story of existence far richer, more cyclical, and infinitely more mysterious than our most imaginative theories currently dare to suggest. Our place in the universe, then, shifts dramatically. We are no longer simply the products of a linear evolution, but potentially inheritors of a legacy we barely comprehend, participants in a cosmic play with many acts, and many often forgotten players. This recontextualization invites a profound humility, challenging our anthropocentric pride and urging us to see ourselves as a fleeting chapter in a much grander, more cyclical drama. It encourages a deeper connection to the planet itself, not just as a home, but as a repository of ancient wisdom, a silent mentor holding secrets that could redefine our understanding of consciousness, time, and our ultimate destiny among the stars. The Pangaean anomaly calls for profound humility,
a quiet acknowledgement that our current understanding of the universe and our place within it is inherently limited, a mere flickering lantern in an immense darkness. It reminds us that our scientific paradigms, while robust, are ultimately just models, frameworks constructed from available data, perpetually refined but never entirely complete. This discovery encourages an openness to radical possibilities, a willingness to question foundational assumptions, and the courage to look beyond our anthropocentric biases, inviting us to confront the vast, silent stretches of deep time with a sense of wonder and intellectual courage, ready to embrace truths stranger than fiction. This revelation would permeate every aspect of human culture: art, philosophy, spirituality. It would inspire new myths, new forms of expression, and new ways of contemplating our existence, forever altering our perception of time and being. Poets would write of ancient lights, philosophers would grapple with cyclical intelligence, and spiritual traditions might find new meaning in the Earth's deep memory. The silent hum of the Pangean artifact would resonate through human consciousness, a haunting melody from a forgotten epoch, inviting humanity to weave a new tapestry of meaning, one that embraces the vastness of deep time and the profound mystery of recurring consciousness. Ultimately, the luminous artifact leaves us with far more questions than answers, a profound, enduring mystery that will echo through human civilization for millennia. It ignites a new quest, not just for scientific data, but for deeper meaning, for understanding our cyclical destiny, and for listening to the silent whispers of a planet that has seen so much, forgotten so much, and perhaps remembers more than we can ever know. The silence that follows its discovery is not empty, but heavy with the weight of unanswerable questions, echoing across the void of forgotten epochs, a continuous invitation to explore the boundless depths of Earth's ancient, enigmatic heart. And so we return to where we began, to the profound what-if that first stirred our imagination. What if, nestled within that boundless epoch of Pangaea, a breath of intelligence, a nascent civilization, indeed etched its silent, intricate story onto the planet's nascent crust, only to be swallowed by the inexorable, crushing march of geological time. The luminous crystalline structure, pulsing faintly beneath the Amazon, is more than just an anomaly. It is a direct, undeniable answer to that ancient query, yet one that shatters our comfortable narrative of linear progression and singular emergence. It forces us to confront the chilling possibility that humanity is not the first, nor perhaps the last, conscious flicker on this planetary stage, fundamentally redefining our perceived uniqueness and the very trajectory of life's unfolding drama. This silent beacon from deep time, discovered against all odds, unravels the meticulously woven tapestry of our understanding, revealing threads of a history far older and more complex than we ever dared to conceive, a profound echo challenging the very bedrock of our existence. Does progress truly ascend in a straight, unwavering line, a continuous climb towards an inevitable human pinnacle? Or is the Earth itself a stage for a grander, cyclical drama, a cosmic rehearsal where civilizations bloom, reach a zenith of understanding, and then, inevitably, fade into the planetary hum, leaving only the faintest, most cryptic echoes for the next iteration? The Pangean artifact, cold and beautiful, pulsates with this very question, suggesting that intelligence in its myriad forms might be a recurring phenomenon, an ebb and flow across vast geological ages. It challenges the very linearity of our evolutionary charts, inviting us to imagine a world where consciousness is not a singular event, but a repeated experiment, a silent symphony played out in movements separated by eons of profound, indifferent silence, each performance leaving behind only a whisper.
The artifact simply exists, a silent monument to a forgotten beginning, a cold, luminous heart beating beneath the planet's scarred memory. It offers no easy answers, no decipherable language, no grand historical archives we can readily access. Instead, it serves as an abyssal mirror, reflecting back our own anthropocentric biases, our limited temporal perception, and the immense, humbling scale of deep time. We gaze into its faint luminescence, and in that glow, we see not just the ghost of a Pangean intelligence, but the profound fragility of our own existence, the transient nature of even our most enduring creations against the relentless, indifferent forces of a living planet. What secrets does its silent light still guard? What lessons from a vanished age might it, if ever fully understood,
in part to a species grappling with its own uncertain future. The silence that follows its discovery is not empty. It is heavy with the weight of unanswerable questions, echoing across the void of forgotten epochs. It compels us to listen more closely to the Earth itself, to perceive it not merely as a passive stage, but as a vast, living entity with a deep, complex, and perhaps even sentient past, a repository of ancient wisdom. The grinding of tectonic plates, the slow erosion of mountains, the very hum of the planet, could these be subtle forms of planetary memory, retaining echoes of civilizations that rose and fell long before our time? This artifact pushes us to redefine our relationship with our home, transforming it into a profound ancestral mystery, a shared journey into the uncharted depths of planetary consciousness. And so we are left to ponder, what other forgotten acts have graced this grand stage? What other intelligences, in forms we can barely conceive, have bloomed and faded, their stories swallowed by the insatiable maw of geological time? What if the universe, far from being a lonely expanse, is teeming with such ephemeral sparks, each a fleeting light in the cosmic night, leaving only the faintest, most enduring echoes for those who dare to listen? The quest for Pangean anomalies is a journey into the heart of this silence, seeking resonance where we once perceived only void, inviting us to embrace a story of existence far vaster, far more cyclical, and infinitely more mysterious than our current imaginations dare to suggest. The whispers continue, if only we learn how to hear them.